Hey everyone, welcome to my studio. I'm working on a series of 3 Moses mosaics that will be going around the sides of a fountain at a church. And this is the second of the 3. This is baby Moses in the Nile River. So I'll be working on this for quite a while because it's 30 inches by 75 inches. Here it is. Here's where I left off last week. And I really want to get started on this basket. So that's where I'm going to start this week. A closer look at the basket. You can see it is mostly beiges, but there are going to be some shadows under the blanket, around the edges, and maybe even under the rim. As well as I think some of these straps might be a little bit darker coming down. But I'll just tackle that as I get to it. I've got a good combination of glass, and I'm going to get after it. A while to get all these pieces laid out, and they are still loose. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this portion right here, just because I can't really build much more than that on here. It's just too loose and the pieces are moving around a little bit too much. So I'm going to get those down and then I'll be able to evaluate again. I'm using for this basket is a nice and streaky glass. It is this Spectrum glass 356SF, white dark amber. And originally I had purchased this online to work on the desert in this mosaic. But it was just a little bit too streaky. I wanted something more solid for this desert. And so I had to set it aside, and I was a little bit irate at that. But now I'm finding that it's coming in very handy here. It does have a little bit too much white, so wherever there is too much white, I've kind of been cutting it off because I don't really want it white there. So some of the whiter pieces are here, and I'll just save them for another day, another project. That's it. is I've just finished the basket, and there's one thing that's not quite working for me, and that is that I think I went a little too dark right here. So I've cut a piece, and I think if I remove what's there and pop that in, this will read as the shadow a little bit better of the cloth, and it won't be so confusing. That seems like a little confusing right there. But with that one little change, it reads a lot better. So as soon as I mix up some thinset, I will pry this off and make the change. In the meantime, I think I'm about to start these lilies. So I'm gonna have to pull some green, some white, and some yellow so I can get started on them. And one reason I'm doing the lilies before anything else is because they are in the foreground, and it just makes sense to do them. And I've got quite a few. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 water lilies to tackle. I have pulled some white with yellow, some light purplish, some very dark purple, and sort of a yellowy green for the lily pads. I want to distinguish the lily pads from the other greenery, so I'll be using different shades of green, and I like this one for the lily pads. I might also take some regular white that's not streaky for some of the petals. So for the shadowy petals, I will be using this one, which is why I'm using purple for the deep dark outline shadow that's underneath each of these. It gets quite dark, and that helps to make those petals pop forward. So instead of going with a black, I'm going with, or blue, because there's blue in the water, I'm going with a purple, which will sort of be a reflection of these petals. And then some of this bright yellow and some of the orangey yellow more for the middle of the flowers right there. Let me get after it. finished these lilies. I think they are just looking amazing. I never did add this dark purple, so I may come in and add some of that when I'm putting the water in, just underneath some of these lower petals. I'm not sure, we'll see, but I've got it set aside and ready to go if I need it. And then here's my basket. I finished it, and then I fixed this little shadow part. And I still do have a few more lilies here. I've got 3 more lilies and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more lily pads. So I've got the glass pulled for those, so those should be pretty quick to knock out when I get after it next week. That's it. That's putting it together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.